Bonjour, mesdames et messieurs, je m'appelle Lemay Rodriguez. Bienvenue dans le monde de Gerard Bertrand Beans. You see what I did there? Don't worry about it. I'm not gonna do the class this time. I'm not gonna do this episode in French. I am still learning French. I'm not fluent in French, but I love it. And I got inspired. I gotta tell you, I had to start in French because I need to practice it, and also I got inspired with these wines. Like you see in this episode, I don't have just one product on the table. I have several products on the table. And of course, I already did the introduction in French, but I gotta tell you, this is Gerard Bertrand wines from the south of France. I'm gonna tell you a lot of things about it. I'm gonna tell you a few cool facts also that you should know about wine, even if you're not a wine expert. If you're in a party, if you're sharing with friends and family, I'm gonna give you some little hints of wine and history of wine that you can use, and you can seem like, oh wow, this guy knows what he's talking about. This girl knows what she's talking about. So let's have fun. It's the holidays. Of course, you see it in the back there. Christmas is around the corner, and actually I got even extra inspired because I just recently went with my fiance to a beautiful Christmas light maze. So actually I have a little collage from that, so cue the roll. All right, and we are back to my channel. Of course, I have to introduce, like I always do, welcome back to Conversation with Lemay Nation, a curated taste for the finer things in life. And of course, we have the finest things in life right here. I have to tell you, one of my first loves when it came to the beverage industry was, of course, wine. I never went to classes of wine. I actually started learning by myself here and there, getting books, reading online, and trying to educate myself as much as possible before I went to school. So it's really a fascinating world. It is so vast and so historical, and that it's impossible to know everything about wine. So I'm not gonna pretend here that I'm a sommelier or I'm a super knowledgeable. I do have a little bit of knowledge, but I'm still learning every single day. And that's what I recommend to you guys. Like, the day that you decide not to learn and you think you know everything, that's the day you stop growing. So please do not stop learning. Wine is super, super, super beautiful history, but it's so vast and it's so much knowledge. It's almost impossible to know everything about wine. So always try to listen to people, try to educate yourself, read books, go online, search of the wines that you like, the wines that you are interested in, and just keep growing that knowledge. Of course, keep tasting, don't go crazy, don't drink one bottle every day, but drink a little bit of wine here and there. Is always beautiful. And actually, speaking about knowledge, one of the books that I enjoy a lot is this one you see in the front right here, the Wine Folly. And this is a really nice beginners and also advanced book. So it's good for everybody. I will tell you, if you really want to understand and learn about the beginnings of wine and the basics, this is a really good book. But there are many books out there, and many websites and many classes that you can take. So that's my advice. But of course, welcome back to my channel, episode 3, featuring Gerard Bertrand wines from the south of France. Let me give you a few things between wine, and also we're going to talk more about Gerard Bertrand. Did you know that wine is as old as 8,000 years? We're talking about 5,900 years before Christ. So the first evidence of wine was in the country of Georgia, in the mountains of the Caucasus. So it's beautiful that it came all the way from there with the Vitis vinifera, all the way down with the Greek mythology and everything. And it became what we have today as the wine regions of the world. Number 2, another cool fact that you can know. The god of wine, of course, in Greek mythology, his name is Dionysus. And Dionysus is supposed to be the one, the bringer of party, the bringer of the good times and everything. So in Greek mythology, you can Google it, search it, Dionysus, the god of wine. So every time that people celebrate in Europe, they're celebrating to Dionysus. So it's a part of the culture and the history also of wine that is just really cool to know. Number 3, wine, basically, a lot of people, we always know that wine is from grapes and everything, but you can actually make wine from a lot of things. You can make wine from many fruits. You can make wine even from rice. But of course, the vast majority of wine and the high quality is made with grapes, with the Vitis vinifera. So within the grapes, there are thousands of different varietals. So that's what we call the grapes in the wine, varietals. Whenever you hear that word that says varietals, that means the type of grape that is in each wine. It could be just single grape, it could be a blend. Like for example, when we talk about it later on, but this is a blend right here, this is also a blend, this is also a blend. But there are many wines that are unique. Like it could be 100% Sangiovese, it could be 100% Cabernet Sauvignon, or it could be 100% Cabernet Franc. And by the way, speaking of Cabernet Sauvignon, I know that that's one of the most popular wines, one of the most popular red wines. But did you know, fact number 4, that Cabernet Sauvignon was a blend, a mix between Cabernet Franc and Sauvignon Blanc. It was created. So here we go. Keep searching, keep learning, but little hints that you can tell people and you can look good in a party. You know how it is. Another thing about wine is when you grab a glass of wine, typically you have a stem glass. This is what we call a stem glass right here. And of course, I'm using Riedel glasses. Riedel, in my opinion, is the best wine glass ever made. So you have the bowl, of course, and you have the stem and you have the base. I see a lot of people that they love to grab the wine like this and they go around. Yeah, fine. I mean, if you feel cool like that, that's amazing. But it's stem glass for a reason. Try to grab the glass in the base of the stem. That way you don't transfer the heat of your body into the wine. And talking about temperature, that's another little hint that I'm gonna give you. I remember back in the day when I was working in different bars and everything, and I will have some conversations and sometimes not altercations, but kind of differences with some of the bartenders that have been there for a little bit longer than the young generation, or they just learn in a different way. And they would be mad at me when I would put a wine in the fridge. And they will come screaming like, who put the wine in the fridge? Like, don't that. Basically, a lot of people think like red wine is just room temperature and only white and orange wines and rosés should be cold. That's not the truth. Actually, when you go to a winery, where is the wine stored? In the bottom, in a cave, cold. So even for red wines, the temperature, because of course, we're talking about back in the day in Europe, the temperature is not the same in the desert that is in the cities or is in some of the cold countries. So room temperature could be 65, the same thing that we were talking about when we were drinking tequila. 65 degrees, which is about 18 degrees Celsius. That's the perfect temperature for a red wine. Anything over that, the wine starts to cook and it tastes horrible. So yes, if a bottle has been sitting under the lights or it's been sitting in the car or in the store for a long time, yes, chill the bottle a little bit, put it in the fridge. Storage for a red wine all the way down to white wine, anywhere between 55 degrees and 45 degrees, and even for sparkling wine is even lower than that. Sparkling wines can be at 30 degrees Fahrenheit, which we're talking about 3-4 degrees Celsius, all the way up to 18 degrees Celsius for the red. So wine is always at a good temperature. It's never like super hot under a light or something. So just be careful with bottles that have been sitting in the car or been sitting in the store. So those are little hints and little snippets of knowledge. Wine, like I said, is way too vast to cover in just one episode. But those are little examples that I can give you that are really, really good, and it will make you enjoy the wine even better. So when we come back from this section, we are going to talk about how we're going to party with these wines because it's time to drink. So I'll be right back. Okay, we are back and it's time to try these beautiful wines. But before I do that, let me introduce the producer for these beautiful bottles that you have right here. Gerard Bertrand. If you want to Google it, Gerard Bertrand, wines from the south of France. Actually, the history of Gerard is amazing. If I do one episode for the history of him only, it will take hours because it is very impressive what this family has done. Actually, he's a third generation winemaker, and now he's working, not only Gerard Bertrand is working in the winemaking, but also his daughter, Emma Bertrand, is also a fourth generation winemaker. So Google that and check it out. Actually, she has a lot to do with the new art edition of the Côte de Roses. But we're going to start with the beautiful French Cancan. Actually, like I always like to tell you little very beautiful details about each one of these products. This one right here, French Cancan, the first orange sparkling wine available in the market. Check that out. So this one, of course, you will ask, why is it orange? Is it made with oranges? It's not. So it's orange because remember, the wine, most of the expressions and the tannins and the flavors of the wine are from the wine grape from the skin of the wine grape. In this case, this one is made with white wine grapes. But when you leave the skin a little bit in and you age it, then it becomes yellow, it becomes orange. That's why it's called orange wine. It's not necessarily because it's made with oranges. Don't get confused because you see the orange right here. That's for the end because we're gonna make a really, really special cocktail that you can do for the holidays. But of course, it's the holidays, it's Christmas right here. So we're gonna start celebrating, of course, when you get in the table, you get with your family. The first thing I will recommend you to do is to open a bottle of bubbly champagne or bubbly wine. And when it comes to champagne, of course, it's a region in France. This is not a champagne, but actually very, very interesting detail. And I'm going to talk about it in another episode because there's another impressive wine from Gerard Bertrand that we're going to feature again. We're not going to tell you what that is yet. You got to wait. But before champagne was champagne, actually sparkling wine started in the south of France. So we're going to talk more about that later on. But right here we have the beautiful French Cancan, the first orange wine sparkling in the market. So we're going to open it and we're gonna have fun with it. So now, when you're opening these kind of bottles, be careful. Don't point it to your face or anything, or don't point it to somebody else because it could, the cork could escape and hit somebody. So to be safe, you always keep the cage right here on the bottle, and then you're gonna hold it in this position, and you're gonna slowly move it, slowly, until it pops. And then you keep the bottle kind of like in a 45-degree angle. That way it will help the gases or the pressure escape without having to like bubble and lose half the bottle when it just explodes outside. So that is a little technique of how you open a bubbly wine or a sparkling wine or a champagne. Just tilt it a little bit to the side, open the cage, but keep the cage on the cork, and slowly, slowly, boom, elegance. That's the way you open this wine. And now, I'm gonna put the cork right here because we're gonna serve it. I mean, you can serve sparkling wine, of course, the typical is a flute, but we're using today a tulip glass that is also fantastic for sparkling wine. Oh yes, look at those bubbles. It's time to party, baby. I'm already feeling it. We're still here, but I feel on vacation already. So for celebration, when you wanna share with everybody, I mean, I always like to start with a sparkling wine like this, and beautiful color, fantastic aroma. Of course, this glass is designed specifically for sparkling wine because typically they tend to be a little bit less aromatic than the red wines. So you want the lip to be a little bit more narrow, and then all the bubbles go straight up. So when you try this wine and when you're sharing with somebody, I'm just gonna do an example here. A lot of people do this. That's another hint of wine. Don't do that because when you clink on the tip, you start breaking that tip. So the recommendation for wine glasses is to clink like this on the bottom, on the thicker part of the globe. All right, that's how you clink a wine. So another thing that you maybe didn't know about wine glasses, and also about how to cheer with wine. So cheers. We're gonna try the French Cancan. Ooh, that is delicious. Oh, the mouth waters right after. Beautiful, beautiful wine, beautiful celebration wine. And actually, I have a surprise for you. Right after we finish with these wines, we're gonna make a cocktail that includes the French Cancan. So, surprise, surprise. Now, we're gonna go from the French Cancan. This is, I mean, if you're eating at the table with the people and everything, you start with before you serve the dinner or lunch or whatever you're doing for party, you start with the bubbly just to get the party started, you know? Get the appetite. It's good for opening that appetite and that hunger for the beautiful plates that are coming after. My recommendation, the second one you're gonna chill with the rosé. You party with the bubbly, chill with the rosé, and you have a good dinner with the red wine. That's my style. I hope you enjoy it as well. So what we have here is one of the most famous wines from Gerard Bertrand. It's Côte de Roses, and actually this is not the typical Côte de Roses, this is the art edition. And actually Emma Bertrand was included in the design of the new bottle, and it's beautiful. You see how it represents the roses and everything. And of course, it's a rosé wine. It still looks a little bit more orange because remember what I said before, especially with the French Cancan. When you use white grapes and you let the skin with a little bit more contact during the fermentation, and then you age it a little bit in oak, then it becomes a little orange. Not necessarily pink, it becomes orange, but it's still considered a rosé wine for the case of Côte de Roses. Another thing that is separated from the rest of these bottles, this one has glass on glass. So this one, the tip is not a cork like what the ones you see here. It's a glass. And a lot of people get complicated when it comes to opening these bottles. I'm gonna teach you a very, very simple way to open this bottle without the risk of breaking it or without thinking that you cannot open it because it gets too hard. So like you see here, it's a cork inside. It's basically a rubber cork, but it's glass on top and it's glass on the bottle, of course. So the way you do it is you point your fingers like this. You push a little bit forward. Boom, elevate a little bit, and that's it. It's already open. Very simple. But I see people struggle with this one, but that's the way you open this bottle. And of course, we are going to enjoy the art edition of Côte de Roses. And by the way, as I serve this wine, just letting you know, this is the best-selling rosé premium from south of France in USA and in several other countries in the world. So if you don't have it, gotta have it. So we're gonna put the bottle down here again. We're gonna close it. And what I like about these corks, what this glass on glass is like, you close it again, it's like you never open the bottle. So it maintains the aroma, it maintains the quality of the wine for a little longer time. You can store it for 3, 4, 5 days, no problem in the fridge. Fantastic bottle. And by the way, last but not least, you see that representation of the name Côte de Roses and also the roses around the bottle and the flowers. That's why we're using it like this for decoration. But also if you turn the bottle around and you look right here, it's like a bouquet of roses. It's like a rose inside of a bouquet. It's amazing. It's a beautiful design. So this is impressive. It makes it for a beautiful gift for the holidays. And I love it. I simply love it. And it's super romantic, of course, to give it to your spouse, to your girlfriend, boyfriend, whoever you want to give it to. But it's an amazing design from the bottle and also the product. Fantastic. Let me remind you that these two wines that we just tried right here, and I'm about to try the Côte de Roses, but these two wines are organic wines. So very, very, very special. Oh my God. The aroma and the color is just so elegant. I feel like I'm in France already. Like, bienvenue to the France. Viva la France. Cheers, happy holidays, Merry Christmas. I mean, what can I say? You have to try it. You have to try it. It's just impressive. From the French Cancan to the Côte de Roses, no surprises at all. One of the best wines, one of the best winemakers in the world. You have to get involved in the world of Gerard Bertrand wines. This is ridiculously good, amazingly good. So now, we came from beginning the party with the bubbly wine, and we're gonna chill a little bit with the rosé. We're gonna talk about things with people. We're gonna share chit chat before the table. But then when the dinner comes, and it comes that beautiful mama's recipe and the steaks and everything, I gotta go with a big cab and with a big blend. So I like to sit down at the table and enjoy a good dinner with a nice red blend. In this case, what we have here is Castellum. Castellum is a blend between Cabernet Sauvignon and Cabernet Franc. So of course, full body, beautiful red, and we're gonna open it right now to try it in front of the camera. So join me with that. And actually, there are many different types of wine keys for the cork and everything. This one is very common because you can put it in your pocket, it's very easy. But I like to use this one. This one is a L'Aiguille Butterfly. It's actually made in France as well. And the L'Aiguille, what I like about it is like sometimes when you have bottles that have been sitting in the fridge or sitting in the storage for a long time, the cork might be a little too dry because it's been exposed to light or it's been too old, the bottle, it's been aging for a long time. And when you have a cork that is too dry, it might break. And if you break the cork and it falls into the bottle, guess what? You lost the bottle. And you might lose a very expensive bottle or a very beautiful bottle that you've been saving for a special occasion. This is why I like to use this one, because it doesn't put pressure on the cork. You actually go here, you put it in the middle very slowly. And actually, this one actually helps me save some bottles that already broke the cork. Because sometimes you take the cork out and it's kind of half broken, but it's still salvageable. So I like to use this one because it goes very smoothly into the cork and it allows you to pull it with no cork damage at all. You see, you can pump as many times as you want, then slowly, boom, there you go. Voila, like they say in France. So there are many types of wine openers and cork openers, but this is by far my favorite. I've never broken a cork with this, and also I've saved some bottles from a broken cork with this boy right here. All right, so the first thing we do when we open a red wine, we also like to see if there is any weird tainting on the cork and everything, but it looks fantastic right here. You smell the cork as well, and then you put it right in front of the host of the table. Could be a woman, could be a guy, but whoever orders the table, the wine first, that's the person you present the cork to, facing the bottle to the client. Of course, it's our little hint that you can use with your family as well. But now, we do not have a decanter in this video. I do have decanters, but today I decided to just open the bottle and go straight to the glass. But I will always recommend to decant a red wine. It opens the tannins, it opens the aromas. It's fantastic. But today we're using a balloon glass from Riedel as well. That is also going to help us decant the wine and at the same time try it and air it a little bit. So when you serve a red wine like the Castellum right here, you're going to put a little bit before filling up the glass completely. So you're going to have a little bit of wine only. And the first thing you got to do is smell the wine. Get the aroma, see if anything worries you, if it tastes a little cork or anything. That's the first test that you do with the red wine. Number two, after you smell it the first time, that allows you to open your palate, open your airways, and start getting all those aromas from the wine. You're going to stir it a little bit, and then you're going to smell for the second time, because when this balloon glass allows the red wine to open up and it creates a pressure with the oxygen, and then all of the aromas will come like in a reverse tornado all the way up. So that's the science behind it. So basically you move the glass, air it a little bit. It's like doing the same thing that a decanter will do. So then smell again. You can smell on top, on the sides, like I always told you, 12, 3, 6, and 9, and get different aromas from the wine. And by the way, one really special detail, the Castellum right here that you see, before I try it, I want to talk about this. The city of Carcassonne, which is the appellation of the Castellum, actually that is the most important fortified city in the world. Google it, check it out, beautiful castles, beautiful areas. It's a fantastic location to go visit in France. And of course, when you are in Carcassonne, you gotta, let me see if I correctly said that. Yeah, Carcassonne. So let's see if Gerard can correct my French, but I hope I am giving him justice with my new French language. Bienvenue de la France. And when you're in the city of Carcassonne, of course, you have to enjoy some Castellum, so we're gonna try it. Oh my God, that is delicious. And remember, this is a blend between Cabernet Sauvignon and Cabernet Franc. So you're gonna get the tannins, you're gonna get a little bit of astringency there, and the flavors, the red fruits at the end, and you're gonna get a little bit of chocolate notes and everything. And speaking of chocolates, I know a lot of people like to drink wine with cheese. That's fantastic, really good pairing. I'm not really big into cheese myself, but you know what? Give me a red wine with a good chocolate. And actually, one of the brands that I like to pair with red wines is actually a local brand right here. Like you see it in the camera, Ethel's Chocolates. It's actually local from Las Vegas. And you can get beautiful Cajun like this. But I'm telling you, red wine and chocolate, I actually have, I'm gonna have to, this Castellum is so good, I have to try it. So you got the chocolate right here. Smell a little bit of the wine. Actually, the chocolate enunciates it even more the notes from the red wine, because red wines tend to be a little bit more on the chocolate side. Like, you know, wow, that is amazing. You pair chocolate with red wine, it just opens up a whole world of flavors. I mean, I'm not gonna tell you anymore. You gotta do it. Enjoy it. I mean, keep your cheese and everything in the table, but enjoy some chocolate with red wine, especially on the holidays. My God, your mouth waters. Fantastic, fantastic products. So I am very excited to have Gerard Bertrand wines right here. I am definitely finishing all of these bottles. I gotta tell you that, and I'm gonna continue buying it for the rest of my life because it's a fantastic product. When we come back, we're gonna finish the program with a beautiful cocktail that I'm gonna surprise with. I got a surprise with you on that one, because it's gonna be like a Latino twist to a cocktail that is very, very well known in the world. So we will be right back in Conversations with Lemay Nation, featuring Gerard Bertrand wines. All right, we are back, and it's time for the grand finale. It's time for the cocktail. And remember, we are starting the party with the bubbly right here with the French Cancan. Then we chill a little bit with the rosé, Côte de Roses Art Edition. Then we went to the table. We had a nice dinner with the beautiful Castellum blend, Cabernet Sauvignon, Cabernet Franc. And now we're gonna finish with an amazing cocktail that a lot of you bartenders, and if you're new to the bartending world, this is one of the classic cocktails in Europe, the French 75. But we're gonna do a twist, a Latino twist to the French 75, because as you see here, we have tequila corrido reposado. So I'm gonna tell you how to do it, because the typical French 75s will be with gin. You will do it with dry gin and all of that, but we're gonna do a twist, a Latino twist with tequila instead of gin. This is a beautiful cocktail you can make for the holidays to impress your family, and is delicious. So let's do it. The first thing you're gonna do, of course, I am gonna use the bell jigger right here. We're gonna use the tequila. We're gonna have 2 ounces of tequila corrido reposado. We have already the Boston shaker with ice. So remember, like I always teach you, serve forward, elegance, and also keep the label to the people so they can see what they're drinking. So we have 1.5 ounces of tequila corrido reposado first, then I added a second 0.5 ounce to make it 2. Now, what we have here is lime juice. So we're gonna do 2 ounces of tequila corrido reposado, 1/2 ounce of lime juice. We're gonna do 2 dashes of orange Angostura bitters. And then we are going to add 1 bar spoon of white sugar. Don't be afraid of sugar. It's not as bad as people say. Just a little bit. You need a little bit in your body. Not overly eating sugar with everything, but there's a tiny bit of sweetness, you know, a little tenderness. So we're gonna put 2 ounces of tequila corrido, 1/2 ounce of lime juice, 2 dashes of Angostura orange bitters, not the classic bitters, but the orange bitters. And then with 1 bar spoon of sugar, and then we're gonna put it from, of course, from small to large, like I always say, little touch, turn it around, make sure that it's close, keep it on your right shoulder, and shake it, baby. I'm gonna shake it for about 25 to 30 seconds. Get all those flavors combined. Like I always say, it gets cold, so you don't wanna try to push it like that. You little touch. There you go. Now we're going to serve it in a wine glass. Remember I told you in episodes before, everything looks better on a wine glass. So we're using a tall wine glass right here, a red wine glass with ice and oranges inside, a little triangle cut of orange. So you're gonna drop first the tequila with the lime juice, bitters, and the sugar. And then we are going to top it up with French Cancan. Oh yes. Oh yes. So of course it's bubbly, so it's going to make a little bit of bubbles. Let it breathe a little bit so the bubbles disappear and you don't serve a half full drink. So that's a little bartender trick. You want to keep the clients happy and keep the family happy, so they're gonna, hey, you didn't put too much there. What's going on? So we're gonna really top it up with the French Cancan. Then gently, with the bar spoon, a little bit of movement. We're not gonna shake it with the vino spumante, like they say in Italy, but in this case it's French. We're not gonna shake it with the bubbles, because if not, it's gonna blow up. So we're gonna blend it slowly. Beautiful French 75 here. And last but not least, we're gonna add an orange slice. Who's ready for the pictures? There you go, French 75 Latino twist with tequila corrido and French Cancan from Gerard Bertrand. Fantastic for the holidays, easy to make at home. Let's try it and see, but I can already tell you the aroma is next level. Oh boy. Like we like to say in my country in Cuba, boom baby. That is so good, it is dangerous. So please try it at home. Let me know if you can do it. Leave the comments below, subscribe, like, and I hope you enjoy this show like the same way I'm enjoying it. I mean, I'm already in party mode, so after I finish filming here, I'm gonna go and continue enjoying this cocktail right here, French 75 Latino twist by Conversation with Lemay Nation, featuring Gerard, Bertrand, and at the end with Tequila Corrido Reposado for the French twist of a French 75. Thank you guys for watching once again, and I hope you enjoyed, you learned a little bit. Please teach me if you want to teach me anything. Let me know what you know. I would love to learn from you the same way that you're learning from me, and I hope we help each other grow. So continue to watch my channel, more episodes to come. I hope you have fun like I did. I'm out.